If anyone knows Chinatown, it's Karlin Chan, and today we're meeting up with a man that has dedicated his life to saving his native neighborhood.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? Good job yesterday.
Karlin, you are a fixture here in Chinatown. What was it like growing up in the neighborhood?
Growing up here, Chinatown was much smaller. It was more of a tight-knit community. Everybody kind of knew each other. And if you didn't know each other, when you walked into a store, there was always a pail of cups and tea that the store owner would offer you, and you got to know each other. You know, I've walked these streets for over 60 years now. My DNA would actually be embedded in the pavement.
What made you want to become a community activist?
And I started really advocating for this community because of crime victims. Crime victims who don't speak English, you're victimized twice. Remaining silent is no longer an option.
So let's rewind a year when the pandemic started. Tell me what Chinatown was like at that time.
Chinatown, like much of the city, was a ghost town, but we suffered this ghost town effect early on. We started seeing empty streets back in December 2019 when word of this strange virus broke overseas. The lack of tourism hurt us economically, but it actually benefited us. There was a silver lining in the cloud where our infection rate was low. We had among the lowest infection rates throughout 2020 in New York City.
So businesses are closed down, people are scared, some are being forced to close, we're in lockdown. You start something called the Chinatown Block Watch. Tell me about that.
I just wanted to put people's fears at ease a little bit more, so I started patrolling the streets with several friends. And a lot of people sent me emails. We have volunteers from all the different boroughs. They came in because they felt some kind of connection to Chinatown, and they saw these media reports of attacks and harassment, and they wanted to do something. We're still patrolling 14 months later.
Speaking of crime, we've been seeing this rise across the country of crimes against the AAPI community. What is the feeling here in New York City?
Racism is nothing new. I grew up here from the 60s on, and I've seen my fair share of racism, but it wasn't reported. Like, I never reported it back then. But because of this pandemic and because of some hateful speech targeting an Asian community, it's a heightened sensitivity to it, and people are reporting incidents of harassment, which is good. We need every decent New Yorker, we need every decent person in this country to stand up to the racists. If you have an Asian neighbor being harassed by a racist neighbor, I think all the neighbors should speak up for this person. Hey, what you're doing is not right, record the incident, right? And try to intervene in any way you can.
So we're standing in front of one of the murals that you commissioned. What is the Chinatown Mural Project?
I wanted to bring large-scale murals like this back into this community. When I met Peachy Tao, we started collaborating, and since then, we put up 4 murals just to represent the everyday lives and the culture of the residents of the area.
Karlin, for people out there that would love to support Chinatown, what do you recommend?
I recommend they either join one of my initiatives or another group's initiatives. But most importantly, come down here and enjoy a meal. Come down here, do a little shopping, support our business. This is how the best way to support Chinatown.